We are going to get started in about 2 minutes. Thank you all for joining us.
Okay, right now we're live, and we're going to go ahead and have another meeting for the city of Detroit. And after the meeting is done, I'll upload it to the YouTube and let you all know how it went. Um, Hopefully, we're going to learn a lot of information today, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, good evening, Detroit, and welcome again to our
Recording in progress.
weekly Doncast. Again, we host these every Monday at 5 o'clock to make sure that you get the most up-to-date information and resources that we possibly could give you. We are really excited that we have a great Doncast for you today. And as we have been in the past, we are going to start off with some incredible businesses right here in the city of Detroit. And so we have our new business liaison. And so I am going to pass it to Silvana Puglisi. Puglisi, is that right? Did I say it right? Oh, okay, I got it right. Thank you. I'm going to pass it to her so she can introduce our incredible businesses for this evening. So, Silvana, you can take the mic.
Okay, thank you, Kim. My name is Silvana Puglisi, and I'm the new DBL for District 7. Of course, I would like to thank the Dons for the continued support and collaboration in allowing us to feature small businesses and encourage Shop Small with the residents of the community. Just a quick reminder, you can access your DBL's information through DetroitMeansBusiness.org, and we would love for you to subscribe for the weekly newsletter to keep you updated on events and resources. Our first person or our first business would be Steve from Livernois Automotive Center. Can you please raise your hand so they can unmute you?
Do you have their name?
Yes, Steve. Well,
CC or just C?
I'm sorry?
CC or C? I don't see anybody.
No, his name is Steve.
Oh, Steve. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Steve Walker?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mr. Walker, you should now be able to unmute yourself and turn on your video.
Hi, Steve. Hello?
Mr. Walker, you should be able to unmute yourself and turn on your video. Doesn't seem like he's on. He's there.
Okay, well, maybe I can just go ahead and do a brief. Maybe there's technical issues.
Mr. Walker, could you unmute yourself? Not sure. He's there.
Yeah, maybe he's having an issue with the Zoom or something.
Okay, you want to go ahead and introduce the business then?
Yeah, sure. It's a tire shop. First and foremost, they are located on 14801 Livernois. It's a tire shop offering auto repairs, including engine rebuilding and exhaust work plus oil changes. The hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The website that he has is livernoisautomotivecenter.com, and he's he's a highly rated shop on Google. So that's pretty much the information I currently have for him. Thank you, Steve. I'm so sorry that we were not able to get you to speak I guess we can move forward with the second business.
Yeah, let's just see if we can. Mr. Walker, are you able to unmute yourself now? Maybe not. He must be having some difficulties. Okay. I guess we will move on. All right, go ahead, Savannah.
I'm trying to see if I could put him through maybe the speakerphone off of my phone, maybe.
Thank you for calling Livernois Automotive.
Hi, Steve.
Hey.
Yes, he actually isn't able to speak right now, so. Okay. The second business would be Baker's Bible Bookstore. Is Carla available?
The Carla with the A with the C or a K?
It should be a Carla with an M.
With an M?
Yeah.
Her first name starts with an M?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Carla with the C, but the last name starts with an M.
Okay, I don't see her on here either. Oh, so I'm here, unable to. Oh, so she's CC. CC, is this your business?
Yes, it's Carla Baker Markham. And then I have on the other line, I know it's Zoom, and Mr. Baker is on the line as well, my father, Walter Baker, and Carla Baker Markham for Baker's Bible and Bookstore.
Yes. Hi, Carla. Thank you so much for being able to make it and join us today.
Hi.
Hi. If you can share with us a little bit about your business, who you are, the name of your business, and how this business got started.
Sure. Greatly honored to be on the call. Appreciate you all for inviting us. My name is Carla Markham. I am part of the second generation of Baker's Bible and Bookstore. We are located at 10200 Grand River Avenue in Detroit, Michigan, right on the corner of Prairie and Grand River, about 4 blocks west of Livernois. We've been in that same location for 32 years. It started off my father, Mr. Baker, who's on the line, who will come after me, and my brother, Kelsey Baker, who is no longer with us. He passed away in January of 2006. We are here in the community, and we love the community. The community has been supporting Baker's Bible and Bookstore. We have so many things that just the person who comes in who just wants to purchase books, Bibles, or Sunday school supplies, or just look for gifts for themselves or others. We have CDs. We have a lot of gift items as well, and inspirational books. And we are happy to be in the community and continue to ongoing being there. And I'll pass the call on to Mr. Baker. Mr. Baker?
Yes. Yes, I thank you so much, Carla, for what you've said so far, and I thank the community for their support. We are there mainly because they have supported us down through the years. For 30 years, we've observed families from an early age. Children's coming in to the store and they're growing up and they become adults and they have their family also and they remember coming in the store at an early age and they're so happy to be introduce us to themselves that they have been in the service and come back with good reports and being good citizens and thanking us as well for being there after the years, recognizing their fathers and their mothers, and also that they were promised never to forget us and that they grew up and also going to church and buying Bibles and continuing to support us in the community.
Okay, wonderful. Just wanted to go ahead and have you reiterate or just speak again on your location and your hours.
Yes, so we are located at 10200 Grand River Avenue. We are on the corner of Prairie and Grand River, in between Oakman Boulevard and Livernois. A lot of people reference us because we are right next door to the old Stevenson building. Some of the real true Detroiters know that we're down the street from the old Kingsway, the Junos and everything that used to be all up and down that avenue where there were a lot of stores that went away, went out of business, but Grand River is coming back along. There's new construction in that area that is arising and uprising, and we're happy to be there. 10200 Grand River, corner of Prairie and Livernois. We are open on Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. We are closed on Sundays and on Mondays. And we hope that you all are able to come out and see us. And if you can't, then we also have the opportunity for you to go to our website, which is bakersbiblebookstore.com, and or you can go to another website that we also have that is shop, SHOP, bakersbibleandbookstore.com. So that's shop, bakersbibleandbookstore.com. And if you just don't even use online, because there are some of our people who choose not to, and we also are available via phone where you can give us a call and we are happy to communicate with you via phone. We will ship you products, mail them to you right away. So we're here to serve you the best way we can.
Okay, and really quickly, you are a Legacy Grant Award winner. Speak on that a little bit.
So we are so proud to be able to say that Detroit is doing great things for the community. And in addition to doing that, there is the Detroit Legacy Grant Award that we were one of the recipients of for being in business more than 30 years and continuing. We received that award. So hopefully in the near future, the customers and the community will be able to see some of those things that we have done because we've received that grant that they gave us. And we've also received a award to hang in the bookstore as well. So we would encourage you all to come on down and visit us, or to actually look online, or to give us a call.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it, open the floor up for any questions that anyone may have.
Sure, we do have one question in the chat that I want to just ask. One of the questions in the chat was, do you buy wholesale used books on health, religion, Native American culture, and astronomy? I guess someone has some books that they're interested in selling.
We only purchase, unfortunately, through our vendors that we have already on file or we would set up an account with. As far as used books are concerned, we do accept donations where we would set up an appointment, just give us a call, and we will make arrangements so that we can retrieve those donated books.
Okay.
Awesome. So if anybody else, okay, do you sell clergy up? I think that's supposed to be apparel. Do you sell clergy apparel?
Yes, we do. In store, we have clergy shirts, clergy collars, clergy tabs, clergy buttons. We do also sell clergy robes and attire, other apparel. However, throughout the years, the way the economy has fluctuated, we don't keep the robes in store anymore. We have to special order them, but we are here and ready to serve them.
Awesome. Any other questions? If you have any questions, you can raise your hand. Any other questions? How about communion products?
Absolutely. We carry communion products. We're well stocked with them. We try to keep that well stocked. We understand the importance of what my religion states. So we hope to keep and continue to provide. There's more and more different styles that are coming out, all of them because the way the retail is changing, knowing that things have changed along the way and suddenly changing rapidly now, currently. There are some that we do not carry, but give us a call or come on in. They'll see what we do have as that selection. And if we can't get it, if we don't have it, we will try to get it.
Okay, Ms. Janice Banks. Ms. Banks, if you have a question or comment, you can unmute yourself.
I'd like to add also that we serve the Metro Detroit as far as Toledo, Ohio, Cleveland. We have even sent stock to Africa, Germany, and we have quite a few customers from Canada. We like to appreciate their service. Patriot also. So if those in the surrounding community are listening to us, we appreciate your Patriot also.
Okay, Ms. Banks, did you have a question or a comment? You can unmute yourself.
Yes, I had a question for the young lady. I have a nonprofit where I connect veterans to community resources, and I also started created a safe space on the east side of Detroit, and I have a little library. Do you guys ever donate any books to nonprofit? Because I would be glad to receive any from my new safe space that I've just recently created.
We don't donate like a large sum or books. Sometimes there are certain things like, I'm just going to put this out there for an example. It's a safe space. Maybe they're looking for Bibles. There is a sponsorship that we would do where we would work hand in hand. I would encourage you to give me a call where out of the year, there's a certain amount of customers that we can provide a certain quantity of Bibles to them. There are some criteria that goes along with that. Okay. And I would encourage you give us a call because we would be able to assist, I'm sure.
And what's your name again? I'm sorry.
My name is Carla.
Okay, Carla, I'll be calling. You want me to just call the bookstore?
Yes, give us a call anytime. You can just, ask for me. I would be the one who would have to directly assist you. So, when you call, just ask for Carla. If I'm not there, please leave your information for me to call you back.
Okay, thank you so much, Carla. I'll be reaching out to you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you all for having us on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Carla from Baker's Bookstore, for joining us. And we truly appreciate you opening and operating a business here in the city for over 30 years. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you so much for bringing on two incredible businesses. Again, we do this every Monday also so that we can make sure that we know all of these great businesses that are across the city. A lot of these businesses have invested a lot of time, a lot of family, and a lot of money into these businesses. And so we must support those that actually have supported us by investing in our city. So thank you all for being here. And sharing your incredible businesses to us. And I ask that all of us that are listening not only go in support, but also share the information that you received online as well. So thank you all. And thank you, Savannah, for bringing the businesses here today.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, bye.
Right. So next we are going to have a presentation again, about our 2025-26 updated consolidated plan. And so with us, we have Mr. Duncan, who is going to go ahead and start that presentation. Mr. Duncan, you have the mic.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Tandy. I appreciate you again. It's been wonderful that we are able to continue to bring this information to the community residents. It's very important that we share this so we can get input and just a knowledge of what's out here for the community. So what I have for you, my name is Warren Duncan. Good evening, first. Warren Duncan from the City of Detroit Housing Revitalization Department. I am the internal grants manager. And on the slide here, you see I will be presenting the 2025-2029 Consolidated Annual Action Plan and the Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy area. You can go to the next slide. So the background of this, and you all probably seen this before because we were in a few of the districts so far, but we want to make sure we hit everyone. We want to make sure you guys are well educated on the comp plan and the neighborhood revitalization strategy area that we're proposing. Now, the background on this, every 5 years, City of Detroit is required to submit a consolidated plan or comp plan. We're at the point now where we're preparing our next 5-year consolidated plan, 2025 to 2029. And then also since 2015, the City of Detroit has been awarded the neighborhood revitalization. We applied for it and we awarded the neighborhood revitalization strategy area plan. And we want, again, your participation is required to submit both of these plans. Without it, we cannot submit the plan. This is part of the regulations. So that's why we're bombarding you guys with this information so you'll be well informed that this is out here and try to get your feedback. Next slide, please. So you asked me, what is a consolidated plan? Warren, I don't know. What do you keep talking about this consolidated plan? Well, the consolidated plan is a document that we have to submit to HUD. It comprises of goals and we identify community development needs and basically how we're going to spend our HUD funds. And then you have our annual action plan. Get the next slide. There we go. Then you have your annual action plan. So what the difference is, the consolidated plan is a 5-year plan of goals that we will have for the next 5 years. The annual action plan is the annual goals. So, for example, if we said we were going to rehab 500 houses in our 5-year plan, our annual action plan would be, our goals would be 100 houses. It's simply divided by 5. Right? And so, and also the annual action plan acts as the application to receive HUD grant funds. If we do not submit our annual action plan, we don't receive the funds. And I believe we have until August 16 to submit our plan. And if we don't, whatever happens, and there is regulatory, we will forfeit the funding. Next slide, please. So as you can see here how the 5-year plan works with the annual action plan. So we plan on this year to submit our 5-year plan along with our annual action plan. So it's submitted together. And then subsequent years, we will submit an annual action plan until we get to the end of the 5 years. And then we start the process over again. And so basically, again, with those 500 houses, those goals that we said we were going to rehab, annually we will rehab 100 houses. So 2026, we'll do 100 more houses. 2027, we'll do 100 more houses, and so on until we reach our 5-year goal. Next slide, please. And so last year, here's so you can kind of get an idea of how much funding we received. We received a little bit under $50 million for all the 4 programs. So our community development block grant program last year, we received $32 million, which is our largest program, which comprises of public service programs, our home repair, our 0% interest loan, our senior home repair. Those type of programs go along with the CDBG. Then you have our home, which we received $5.9 million, is our affordable housing rehab projects. And then we have our Emergency Solutions Grant, our ESG, which is we received $2.9 million last year, and that's our homeless grant. So we assist those homeless with those homeless transitional housing, rapid rehousing, homeless shelter, and then we pledge to match our homeless grant with our CDBG. So it was 2.9. So we used part of our CDBG, take 2.9 of our CDBG to match that grant. And also the last grant here is our HOPWA grant. That's Housing Opportunities for a Person with AIDS. That's our tenant-based rental assistance for those who families been infected by the AIDS virus. Next slide, please. All right, so now we're going to get into our NERSA program, our Neighborhood Revitalization Strategy area. So with this program, we don't receive extra funding. However, we have tools that's provided by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for CDBG grantees. It's a 5-year plan, goes along with our consolidated plan that targets areas, specific areas, leveraging other funding resources. As a result, we have flexibilities. With some of the rules that you could do with, or some of the regulations that go along with CDBG, there has opportunity for flexibility that they can bend those rules. And without the NERSA program, none of that would be possible. Next slide, please. And let's talk about some of the benefits of having a NERSA plan. So with the NERSA plan, as you know, CDBG is for low and moderate income persons, benefit folks that's below 80% of the area median income. So with the opportunity with a NERSA, you can expand those income opportunities. So you can go above 80% of the area median income. So as you do with your 0% interest loan, we have to benefit low and moderate income people. Now, with the NERSA, you can go above the 80% income, reaching more mixed income persons. And then you have the public service piece, which with CDBG, we only spend 15% in public service type of activities. However, with the NERSA, those programs that you spend, those public service programs like our Grow Detroit Young Talent, 0% interest loan, Grow Detroit Young Talent, public service activity won't be accounted against the cap. And then finally, the economic development, where you have those low income jobs or jobs that you have. Usually you have to track them in perpetuity as long as you employ those people. But with the NERSA flexibility, you don't have to track or have income collection of income information for those particular jobs. Next slide, please. So in our this is our proposed map for our 2025 to 2029 NERSA boundaries. As you can see, we're touching all 7 districts, all 7 council districts. You can see our 5 NERSAs. If you look at the color coordinated map, it touches all 7 districts. And so we tried to get certain areas where we could, and of course the NERSA has to be contiguous, have to touch each other. And we couldn't do the whole Detroit, but we was able to get in certain areas, as you can see. And one of the regulations tell you that those areas have to be 70% low and moderate income, and those areas have to be primary, 60% have to be primary residential. Next slide, please. Now, here's where we want you. This is where we want you to participate. We need your feedback. We have these surveys. We're doing pretty good with the survey, but we still need more surveys more folks to fill out the surveys. And then this is, like, again, your opportunity to interact with our comm plan and NERSA so we can get your feedback. We put the survey actually is in the chat. You can click on there, and then we have the QR code. Next slide, please. And here is our QR code where you can click on it right now, or you can click in the chat, and it will take you to SurveyMonkey, and you will be able to answer certain questions, participate in the survey. This is on our website. If you go to www.detroitmi.gov/HRD, and when you click in the comm plan comments area, you will find this survey again. Tell your friends, tell your residents, your block club leaders, everyone. Tell them, hey, if you want to know what your dollars are going to, all these federal programs we have, this is an opportunity where you can participate and let us know where we need to spend these dollars. Again, we got into April 4th to fill out the survey, and we want you to continue to participate. Let your friends and neighbors and family who live in the city of Detroit, to fill out these survey. And if you got questions, you can always email me at wduncan@detroitmi.gov. I can direct you if you have questions with the survey or stumbled on some information. I can get that information to you. And that concludes my presentation. I believe we're going to open it up for questions. If there's questions, we can open up.
Absolutely. If there's anyone that has a question, if you could please raise your hand, or if you'd like to put it in the chat, we will see if we can get your questions answered. Are there any questions for Mr. Duncan regarding his presentation? Mr. Duncan, they're asking if you could put the link in the chat for the survey.
Yes, the link is in the chat. Yep, I did mention that. The link is in the chat, I believe.
It is under, LaShawn Turner.
Yep.
No, it came directly to me. I need to send that to everybody. Okay. So we will go ahead and put that in the chat. Ms. Janice Banks, you have a question or a comment, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, good afternoon. I have a question. How do you qualify for any of these, like HUD programs? What are some of the qualifications? If you want a home or you just want to live in low income housing?
So basically, for example, if you want to qualify you want rehab for your home, we have our 0% interest loan program. One of the things you must have your taxes up to date. I believe you got to have insurance, of course. And you just fill out the application. I think you have to have 560 credit score, but it's a 0% interest loan. You don't have to pay any interest. So whatever you take out, I think you can get up to $25,000 loan for your house. And then someone to come and do an assessment and things. And now you can go on our website. They have the application available. I believe Wayne Metro is on their website. And just put in 0% interest loan, and it'll direct you where you can fill out the application. I believe the districts also have the opportunity where you could get that information and fill out the application for that as well.
I have another question. Now, any of this funding, would it go toward if someone have a business and want to rehab like their business or something? Like if they own property and they wanted to rehab property that is part of their business?
You know what? I'm not sure, but you could email me directly and I could see if because I work mostly on the getting the comm plan out. I don't work directly with the programs, but I'm sure they may have programs that you can qualify for. As far as businesses, we did at one time did facade improvements based on the area we were going into, but I haven't seen that in some of the budgets.
I think that most of your if you own a business in the city of Detroit, most of your dollars as far as getting some funding would be through Motor City Match.
Okay, I'll check that out. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Appreciate that question.
No
Yeah,
problem.
and then is there a phone number if somebody is filling something out or that they had any other questions? Is there a phone number that's in the chat as well? Do you have a phone number that you might want to give out, or do you want people to email or send it through the survey?
Yeah, just send it either email or send it through the survey. Those kind of questions, and we'll definitely respond back to you.
Okay, and then David Williams. David Williams, you have a question or a comment? You can unmute yourself. Thank you for joining.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. My question is in regards to you mentioned homelessness and some programs that are available there. I have a business that is a group home. I have a few group homes, and we do take in some homeless individuals and also a couple of room and board homes. Are there provisions in any of your programs for funding for that type of work and that type of residency?
Now, we do have a request for a proposal for homeless, we call RFPs, that goes out every year annually for the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund. The person who handles that is works in our, she's the program director for the homeless. Her name is Tara Linsner. And if you leave me your information or email me, I can get you hold to her and connect you with her. And then you also, if you know anyone that has any homeless or housing issues for homelessness, we still have our 866-313-2520 homeless hotline, resource hotline. And so the resource helpline can also direct you further to some of our programs that's available. And again, we can put that in the chat, the 866-313-2520. But email me and I can connect you to Terry Linsner, who handles the homeless RFPs. And
okay, can I have your email address again?
Yep, it's on the display here. I think hopefully you can see it. W Duncan. It's at the bottom where it says take our survey.
I got it. Yes, sir.
Great.
Thank you so much.
No problem. I appreciate you answering that.
All right, Teresa Landrum. Teresa, you have a question or a comment? You can unmute yourself. Thank you for joining.
Yes, I had a question, comment. As I looked in the map previously, forgive me for my just joining, I was in another meeting. This NERSA program, how were the district's areas chosen again? Could you talk about that again? Because I see where there's continued omission of the part of District 6 that is lower, predominantly African American, and we can use these resources. And so I always look at this map and I want to know what was the determinants for these areas to be chosen for this program. Thank you.
Hi, okay. Glad you asked that question. I believe we can go back to that map so they can see. And I think we got our team is on that they can answer those questions about the NERSA, how it was, the boundaries were chosen. If anybody on my team, they could just maybe raise your hand and then Ms. Tandy, we can give them access to talk about the boundaries and how they were chosen.
Someone on Mr. Duncan's team that could answer that question. LaShawn Turner. Is that one of your teammates?
Yep, LaShawn Turner, yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Ms. Turner, you
and then we got Michelle Bush is also on. She's on here as well. So.
Okay. LaShawn, you should actually be able to unmute yourself now.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna give an overview, and then if Michelle, if I miss anything, if you don't mind, Ms. Tandy, letting her come in to.
She's also on as well. She can open up.
Okay, so first of all, we have to use data to come and create these boundaries here. So they have to be connecting border, and we use census tracts to do that. And then 70% of the population, again, we're using data to see if 70% of the population within those borders that you see here on the screen, these shaded areas, are low to moderate income, and then the area has to be primarily residential. So this is all data that we're using to create these boundaries. And I think another key thing here is that they have to be continuous in the census tract. So you can't break the census tract when you create the boundaries. Michelle, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I would just say these boundaries were established about 15 years ago when this tool was first introduced to the city of Detroit. And it was a very complicated and arduous process to try to include as many areas as we possibly could. I can tell you I worked on this personally, and we actually tried to get HUD to designate the whole city because at the time the city was going through its bankruptcy. So we thought maybe the whole city might be able to qualify. But I will just tell you, this is the largest, most expansive NRSA in the country. There is no other city with this wide stretch of neighborhoods that are included in their NRSA. And I'm sorry if your neighborhood was not included, but I can guarantee you that we tried everything that we could to get as many neighborhoods in here as humanly possible and get HUD approval. I hope that's helpful.
Okay, Lisa Staley, if you have a question or Ms. Landrum, did you want to respond?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my apologies, Ms. Tandy and Mr. Duncan. Well, that's the challenge we face. 15 years ago, that data is not that's 15 years ago, it's not showing the present a condition and census of communities that have been continuously left out of these determinants. In the District 6, we know that we have a large population of non-residents, right? And we have a lot of rental property in part of District 6. But in the lower part of Southwest Detroit 4217, we have a high ownership rate, predominantly African Americans. And it seems that the city has been continuously not including the lower part of Southwest Detroit that's predominantly African American. Back 15 years ago, we may have been classified as a middle class community, but now we're baby boomers and our incomes are fixed because we have retired 20, 30, 40 years ago. And that information is not being included in these determinations. That's why when I come to these meetings, I continuously bring it up. The city has not reevaluated older communities, predominantly African-American communities. This community of 4217 is one of the first established African-American communities after World War II. And we have not gotten any funds or determination or inclusion using the census tract to now show that we are a low-income community, aged community that need resources as well. Thank you.
I will certainly take your feedback back to the city to make sure that your voice is heard. That's the purpose of today's meeting. I will tell you that the census data and the analysis is updated every 5 years. So when we submit this new round of NRSA data and application for the next 5 years, all of the census tracts and data have been updated so that all of these areas either continue to qualify, or if they no longer qualify, they have to actually be removed. But I think your voice is well heard, and we'll take this information back to the city and see if there's an opportunity to have you included.
Thank you.
And just to add to that, being that you're a low mod area, you still would be able to benefit for some of our other programs like the 0% interest loan. So if you're a low mod, you definitely would benefit for the 0% interest loan, and that's citywide if you're in a low mod area. Besides the nursing.
Well, thank you, Mr. Duncan, because I actually did apply for the for the perpetual zero interest loan. But the challenges that we face were that this is grant money, and they were using using loan criteria when a lot of these monies are grant monies. So they were giving us information on loans and not grants. And so it was hard for people to understand the difference between the grant monies and the difference between loan criteria. So that was not clarified when many of us applied for the perpetual 0 interest loan. And that needs to be clarified because they're using old guidelines for loans when some of the programs were grants. Thank you so much.
Let me
Go ahead.
Ms. Bush, yeah, I was gonna say you're.
I'm sorry, I can clarify this point if I can. HUD gives the city a grant. The city decides what is the best utilization for the grant. And at the time when this program was designed, we thought it was in the city's best interest and the community's best interest to offer the funds up as a 0% loan so that we could recycle the money. That way, the program continues to be perpetual and other homeowners can benefit from it. I think Warren's point is really well stated, though. You do not have to be in an NRSA to qualify for the program. Any person that's low mod can qualify for the program no matter what neighborhood they live in.
Okay, we do have a few more hands. Lisa Staley, I'm sorry, you were unmuted. Could you go ahead and we lost you.
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon. My question is, this particular NRSA and Detroit Council District map, is it anywhere online for us to examine a little close?
We could put the actual map in this presentation. We can put it on in the chat. And I believe the presentation, it is online too in our documents. So if you go to www.detroitmi.gov/HRD, you go down into the documents, you will see the NRSA map. In the on the website, you can click on it, or you could you could get this presentation. You can click on the map and blow it up so you can kind of see it.
And Warren, may I add that this is just our proposed boundaries. We still have to send this to HUD for approval. So if you are looking at it, it's just a proposal right now at this time.
Hey, Denzel Early. Denzel, you have a question or a comment? You can unmute yourself.
Yes, hello to you all. Great piece. My concern is sharecropping and also farming. So I want to see District 2, District 1, District 7 kind of invest in the fact that a lot of things need to be done. And those are just two things, along with forestry. I think if we get back to this, we won't need medical hospitals. We won't need medical doctors or nurses. We won't need any of this if we just get back to those three principles as far as outdating a community and basically diving into investing in those type of resources. forestry, trees, more trees, that means more oxygen. Farming, if we can grow our own food, that means less trips to the doctor. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. So if we can get into those type of things, that's what I would like to see. And I did fill out the survey. So thank you all for your time. Great piece. Yakoki.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Early. Michelle Hagerman. Michelle Hagerman, if you have a question or comment, thank you for joining us. You can unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm a resident of the city of Detroit. I've been here a resident all my life. I've worked for the city of Detroit, but currently I've been over here for 28 years to 7 Mile area. I don't know if this district 3 or 7. I forgot my district. I've been over here so long. But I'm saying the same thing the young lady was saying, how this district over here is out the loop of everything. I am the youngest on my street. I have, a lot of people that we've been talking, they're trying to get me to be a neighborhood thing, but I don't know. But we have been talking about the way that it's a lot of, it's blight is not heavy like it was over here. They got a lot of houses down, but the police patrolling is not as great as it's supposed to be, because there's a lot of crime over here that's happening, and the crime that's happening is not, it's not what people got to take on this stuff in their own hands, put it like that. And also, I was saying, I was piggybacking on what the young lady before, the young lady and man was saying about how the money and stuff is not, we don't know nothing about that over in this area. Because we are, that's why I'm on here, because I'm trying to find out a lot of ways of how can I help people. Because I know a lot of homeless people, I know a lot of people that just need housing, themselves. So I'm just trying to figure out a lot of things. Like I said, I'm piggybacking off the young lady that was first, and she was saying about how the situation, but y'all basically explained about how do we get help from this area. This over here by 75.
So you're saying you're at 75 and 7 Mile?
Yeah, on her. I've been over here 28 years.
Okay, so 75 and 7 Mile would be District 3.
I said District 3, I thought so.
Okay, so you have District 3, and you have a district manager, and at the end of the meeting, I'm going to give out your district manager's information as well.
Okay.
So if you have some questions, they do have meetings monthly as well. And so there are services and things that you can work through them. And they also would know where some of those needs are. So I would tell you to contact your district manager.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Okay,
what
and it's going to be Kayana Sessoms and Kinsey Current. And at the end of the meeting, I'll give you all their information.
Okay, yes, please. And I had Mr. Warner. I was trying to get on the survey. I think I hit him up and told him that I was trying to get on the monkey survey so I could complete that for you all.
Okay. Was you able to get on?
No, I got on for a minute and it kicked me off.
Okay. So,
Can you send that back to me so I can get on?
Okay, if you can look in the chat, we did have the survey where you can click on. You can do it on if you can't do it on your phone, or we could get to the QR code. Ms. Tanya, can we?
I was trying to hit it, and I had it in my phone, and then it kicked me out. No, it was Spanish. Okay,
oh,
now
you
this
got
is the English. This is the English. I got it.
You got it. Okay, great.
Yeah, they are in the chat too. Yep.
I just got back on. It just got okay. I affordable housing ran on. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you asking that question and filling out the survey. And also, I did put in the chat our Detroit Housing Resource Helpline. Please share that with your community residents. They could definitely help you with a lot of housing resources and information. And that's throughout the whole city, not just through the NERSA area. And that's why I want to stress a lot of programs are just not just these NERSA areas. We were just talking about the flexibility of things that we could do with the NERSA. However, there's still a lot of other programs. If you're not even in that area, there's a lot of other programs that you will be able to qualify for. Even with the clicking on the Detroit or calling the Detroit Housing Resource Helpline that we had in the chat.
There is a question in the chat about mortgage. Is there any information about any mortgage assistance?
Yeah, again, that Detroit Housing Resource Helpline, they do have a Detroit Down Payment Assistance Program that you can request or ask for and get information about. So that would definitely help you with, I don't know about existing mortgage, but they do have mortgage foreclosure prevention is another part of the programs that they offer when you call that number. So if you need a mortgage, they have the Detroit Down Payment Assistance Program, or if you're having problems with your existing mortgage, they have the mortgage foreclosure prevention.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Duncan? Again, so they're asking, there's not a telephone number in the chat. If you have any questions or comments, if you could, for Mr. Duncan, that you could email him at wduncan@detroitmi.gov.
Yeah, I put the Housing Resource Helpline number. It's just said you to Michelle Engerman. Is there a way I could get it to go to everybody?
You'll be able to go to everybody. You can download to everybody.
Okay. I gotta get that off of there. Everyone in the meeting. Okay, I'm sorry. I had everyone in the meeting. Okay, here it is. Detroit Housing Resource Helpline. Sorry about that. It had some kind of where mine defaulted it to somebody directly.
Yep. Okay. All right. I don't see any other hands. I want to thank you, Michelle, and LaShawn. I thank you all for being here this evening, and for making sure that all of these residents have all this information. Again, the survey is right here on your screen, so you could scan that, or you can go to www.surveymonkey.com/r/BF, then 252XX in English, or there is also one in Spanish. If you have any other questions also, you can contact Mr. Duncan at wduncan@detroitmi.gov. Again, thank you all for the presentation. We appreciate all of the information and you staying on and answering questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Tandy, for having us again.
Absolutely, absolutely. No problem. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right, so our next presentation is going to be about our Detroit Street Viewer, and we have Ms. Tamara on here. Tamara Fantz, are you there?
Yes,
There
I
you are.
am.
Okay, so you may take the mic.
All right. Thank you so much. You can go ahead and go to the next slide. So I'd like to tell everyone a little bit about Detroit Street View. It is first a little bit about myself. I am Tamara Fant. I'm the Enterprise Applications Manager with the City of Detroit Department of Innovation and Technology. I have over 30 years as an IT professional, and I've been a resident of the City of Detroit for almost 49 years. Literally, I think it's about September, October will be my 49th anniversary in the city of Detroit. No, I'm not 49 years old, so I am dating myself a little bit. So what we're going to talk about today is Detroit Street View. We'll talk about our programs and values, the history of it, the upgrade that we're looking to do, as well as the current coverage that we have, some of the benefits of doing Detroit Street View ourselves, as well as specific use cases and a summary. And we're going to save some time at the end for some questions and answers. You can go ahead to the next slide. So what is Detroit Street View? Detroit Street View is a street mapping program to capture foundational imagery data. We're constantly documenting Detroit's changing physical environment. The imagery is intended to help efficiently identify and assess static physical assets, including light poles, street signs, road surfaces, street trees, building facades. The technology is not intended and it is not used for human observation or surveillance. The data is open. It is transparent. It's available. It's usable for City of Detroit employees as well as residents. When City of Detroit employees have access to it, you have access to it. It's publicly available online, and I'm going to give you a demo, and Kim is going to help me with the demo a little bit later in the presentation. We are inclusive. We partner with Frederick Douglass Academy students at their yearly opportunities, their yearly summer camp. And we welcome a diverse participation. So if at the end of this you want to, connect with me and let me know if maybe you have some students or maybe a business or something like that that you'd want to connect us with to foster innovative opportunities, we want to for the entire community. One of the things I always say is a kid at Frederick Douglass or Cass Tech has access to this type of data, not just the kids who parents who work in Silicon Valley. This data is local. Nope, couldn't you go back? One, sorry. It is local. The data collection and development, this is by Detroiters for Detroit. It was an idea that came up in Detroit. The City of Detroit employees came up with that. We had help from some of the folks in the garage who outfitted our vehicles and all of that. We are responsive. We have regular planned routes. But we also have ad hoc drives. And our ad hoc drives collect data for emergencies as well as some kind of sometimes planned city activities like blight enforcement or something like that we're going to talk about. One of the examples of an ad hoc drive was there was a fire, a big fire at a senior complex on the east side a few years ago. And it happened like in a Tuesday overnight, early morning. And we were able to drive that area the next afternoon. And we collected the imagery data. We drove around, collected all of that imagery data, loaded it into the system. And it was available for the mayor's cabinet meeting the next Wednesday morning. So the mayor, as well as all of the department heads, were able to pull up that and see actually what was happening to that senior complex and coordinate the appropriate responses for the residents. And also privacy. Privacy is one of our foundational guiding principles. We blur faces and license plates with software upon the completion of our drives to ensure the privacy of residents. We then delete all the raw data. We don't keep that data. And when the data is uploaded online, it's blurred a second time. And that's to ensure that we have double blurring for anything that's posted, all of the online data. Again, this is not surveillance, but asset collection to provide foundational imagery data for departments and residents. So we can go to the next slide. I'll tell you a little bit about the history, how we got started with this. This is our good friend Bill. Bill was on loan for us. We had a request from the mayor's office. They wanted some imagery of building facades along a stretch of Grand River. And so they called us, which were the IT folks, with a mapping department, or the division within the IT department that provides maps for folks. And so they reached out to us. And so we got Bill's help. He was on loan to us. And we grabbed a public lighting, that little blue van in the background. It was un-air conditioned in the middle of July back in 2017. Bill was a trooper for sure. We attached a GoPro to the side of the van, and Bill drove really, really slow down Grand River to collect the building facade imagery. And it was well received, and they really liked it. And they were able to, see it, and everyone's getting one room, and able to see that imagery. And so, because it was so well received, we actually applied for a grant, received it, and we purchased the Trimble MX2 as well as a Ford Transit van. Unfortunately, it's the Trimble MX2 has served us well for 7 years, but it is at its end of life, and it needs to be replaced. And so we are replacing it with the Mosaic X camera-only system. It has cameras on all sides, which create a panoramic view. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a little bit with Kim's help. But the Mosaic X captures the street view images at 5 meter spacing, about every 16 feet across the city. We do that on a repetitive basis. Can you go to the next slide? So we just pulled up data from the last and created this slide. This is just from the last 12 months. And it's color-coded. Since 2018, we have over 13 million images. And that's covering 40,000 miles with that 5 meter, 16 feet spacing. And what this map shows you is our coverage area. We have it color coded, and we actually use this as our planned routes. And we use this to plan out, okay, when an area goes dark blue, that means that we haven't visited it in 12 months. So for example, this area right here, this is actually as of last week. That red area right in the middle, which is it's south of Davison, north of 94, west of Woodward, and east of Grand River. that area was dark blue a couple weeks ago. And so we said, okay, it's time. We haven't collected data in there. And so we've been driving that area current. So this is actually our current coverage of the areas that we're covering. And then as the areas turn darker, we send the van out and they cover it. And we hit every single street in the city of Detroit. And we have a lot higher frequency than Google. Can you go to the next slide? So you might want to say, well, Google does this. Why does the city of Detroit need to do this? And so we created this slide right here. This is Google Street View on the left, and this is Detroit Street View on the right. And you may say, well, they do it already, but they do the right of way. And one of the benefits of doing a higher frequency image capture is we're not just doing the right of way. We're doing all of the city of Detroit because we're capturing foundational imagery data. So what that means, what's a foundational imagery data? Street signs. There's street signs if you look at Campbell Farms condominiums. Google doesn't go in there. Well, there's fire hydrants in there. And the fire department needs to know where those fire hydrants are, the GPS locations of those. The water department needs to know that. There's street signs, there's light poles. And so we cover the entire city because we extract out all of those physical assets. And you might want to say, well, why is it so important to create that? That's our specific use case. Go to the next slide. That's our first use case is the asset detection. And we've been doing that since 2018. And it's image-based object detection. And we're able to locate, like I said, street signs, light poles, fire hydrants, and other fixed assets. And if you can see in this left corner, we kind of give you a little screenshot of what it looks like online. You can click a thing and says, show me all the light poles. And it'll highlight, just from the imagery, it'll highlight all the light poles, it'll highlight the crosswalks, highlight all the street signs. And I was doing a live demo with the street sign folks for the city of Detroit. And this gentleman that I was doing this demo, he's worked for the city of Detroit for 40 years. He knows every single street sign. And he just doing this live demo, and he said, how many stop signs you got in that database? And I was like, oh God, because we should extract all this information, GPS location of all the street signs. And he just off the bat, he said, how many you got? And so we did a quick math, downloaded, did the math, and it was like, I gave him 25,000. Gave him the exact number, and he looked and he says, "That's about right." And I was like, "Oh, thank goodness it worked." But one of the things you might say is, "Why do you need all of this?" Well, how this benefits the residents of the city of Detroit is the fire department and the water department. They work together for fire hydrants. So we provided them the GPS location because we drove the entire city. We knew where every single fire hydrant is, the exact GPS location. We were able to give them an electronic file of the exact GPS location of all the fire hydrants. We loaded that and helped them create a paperless repair and replacement program. And so the fire department was able to take that data, go out, inspect all the fire hydrants, electronically tell the water department, which created a work order for them to, any that were broken, for them to fix it. And then that automatically generated a work order. The water department went out and fixed the fire hydrant. They were able to verify that, and all of that was electronic. And they were able to provide all of that data to the insurance services office. And as a report, and I'm going to paste this in the chat in just a little bit. But as a result of the cooperation and the partnership between all of the departments, this was one of the components. I wish I could say it was all, I take credit, but I can't take credit. It was just one of the components that resulted in the city of Detroit receiving the 2025 ISO rating of 2, up from 4 in 2015. So that's one of the ways that we benefit. And that means that you have lower homeowner insurance with that rating. You can go to the next slide. So there are other use cases. I could talk forever on these use cases because I love them. But one of the use cases is the assessor's office. You can go ahead and click through. The assessor's office uses the foundational imagery data collected by the Detroit Street View program to perform desktop assessment of properties throughout the city. Providing high resolution imagery allows the assessor's office to verify the building numbers so they know that the structure that they're assessing is the right building. The forestry and you can go to the next one, the forestry and vegetation assessment by the GSD. They're able to use the data from Detroit Street View to readily assess the vegetation overhang on the road to assist the forestry staff's tree trimming efforts without having the need to send out the forestry staff in the field to collect the data. We're already driving the city. They don't need to send out additional inspectors. We're already out there. That doesn't mean the inspectors aren't going to go out. They're just going to be able to target the areas. So they don't have to do it 2 passes where they first go out, take a look, see where there's overhang, and then send another crew out. Instead, they can do that in a more targeted area and then send the crews out. We're still going to have human interaction, so we're not replacing any inspectors, but we're able to make sure that they're doing their job a little bit more efficiently. Also, blight remediation. We're so very proud to be part of the blight remediation effort. You can go to the next slide. The blight inspectors use Detroit Street View to target commercial areas in the city that need blight remediation. And so they're maximizing their efficiency. Again, the inspectors are still going out and doing the inspecting and all of that. What using this tool does is allows the routing of the inspectors to specific areas to identify blight remediation. So the inspectors don't have to wander out and just do area. They can, the staff sitting at the city county building can plan out those routes based on these desktop, the blight. Now, I want to emphasize faces and license plates are privacy blurred. So when they're using these, they're not able to see any faces or license plates because that is blurred. And Kim's going to load up our live demo. And so this is, I actually just randomly dropped into, this is where our tool is on Mapillary. And I just randomly dropped into Grand River. And if you noticed on there, yep, Kim's going to do that time travel. So this image was taken back in 2020 of this area, and you can actually see, again, we just drove this area March 19th, and if you do the time travel, click on the March 19th on the side, yeah, and then if you do that slider, and that's what it looked like in 2020. And then we're going to slide it, and that's what it looks like now. We turned on that building. If you turn it a little bit, you're going to see that the blight enforcement folks were able to get some of those businesses to paint over the buildings. They painted them black down there. If you keep swinging around, you'll see there's a building on this side. Yep. And so that's what it looks like now, as opposed to what it used to look like. And if you keep swinging around, you're going to see some, it was actually just past a stoplight. So you could see those cars in the stoplight. It's blurred. The license plates, again, it's double blurred. So it's for privacy purposes. And I'm going to give you all a link to the Mapillary. That's where you can go on. As soon as the departments have access to this, you have access to it as well. You can go ahead next to this and go back to the presentation. And on there, you can also look at all the street signs, all the catch basins, fire hydrants. You can look at all of that data too. It's all loaded in there for you. So collaboration between all of the departments. We provide all of this data to everyone. And so collaboration maximizes the return on investment and it lessens the duplicate resources. You know, GSD doesn't have to send out somebody, then another department, then another, different contractors, all taking the exact same imagery, but maybe for just their project. Instead, we take it for the entire city. Everybody is looking at all of the same imagery. It's all transparent. Residents can see it. City employees can see it. It's the privacy. Imagery is privacy blurred for faces and license plates. And the raw imagery is deleted. We don't have it. I don't even have access to it. All I can see is that it's been deleted by the size on the thing. I don't have access because we regulate who has access to that raw data, because as soon as it's blurred, it's deleted. We don't want to keep it. And the Republic can report any kind of problems on our website. It's detroitmi.gov/Detroit Street View. You can also send us an email at gis@detroitmi.gov if you have any questions or want any more info. Go to the next slide, please. I'm going to show you a few of our team members. So I'm taking the picture, so I'm not in this picture. But these are just a few of our team members. This is not all of our team members, but this is just a few of our team members. And that wonderful gentleman all the way on the right, that very tall gentleman, is named Ted, and he is our enterprise GIS supervisor over the Detroit Street View program. So he's going to help me while we take any questions from you guys. If you have any technical questions, he's going to help me answer some of those. It looks like Denzel. I'm going to open it up for questions.
All right. So Denzel, you can unmute yourself if you have a question or comment. Thank you so much. Denzel, you were unmuted. There you go. You're unmuted.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay. Good evening to you. My two questions are, does Street View have any collaborations with like NASA as far as like developing satellite modulations to keep like residents and aliens safe? And my other question is, has there been like any data emergence of, data assets from imaging to surveying of these particular districts from like the 1700s, maybe 1600s? And that I'll step away. Thanks a lot.
No, so we don't have any collaborations with any folks with satellites or anything like that. We do use GPS locations, which are, so we connect with, essentially there, if you saw in that demo or even in this little picture, there's a little thing right at the top, right above where the window is, and that's just a coordinate. It reaches out just to give the GPS location. You have the same thing in your cell phone that gives you your GPS location. That's really the only satellite thing that we have connected. And the other is, no, we don't coordinate it. That would be an interesting thing if we could get. Maybe that's something that, we hadn't thought of in terms of kind of meshing, and I don't know how we would do it, but we got some pretty smart folks on our team, so I'll actually take that back to them, how we could mesh data from, a long time ago to kind of give difference of, today versus, 100 years ago, or maybe not 100 years ago, probably like 75 years ago or something like that. That's a good idea. Thank you. Steve? Steve Walker, if you have a question, there you go. You're unmuted.
Yeah, thank you. I want to make sure I understand this. These are mobile cameras, and how often do you go through a neighborhood to update your information?
So it is a vehicle, yes, and it's a camera that's loaded on top of a vehicle, and we drive the city every day, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Well, probably not 8 hours a day. I would probably say about maybe 6 hours. And so we will hit every neighborhood, every street at least once a year. And that's one of the things when we put that link in the chat, you'll be able to see that. So it's just as a caveat, commercial corridors, when you look through those, commercial corridors are going to be hit a lot more often. Grand River is going to be hit a lot more often. When like Woodward, when our guys are going to a neighborhood, they'll start capturing. So that's why a lot of our commercial corridors are captured, because that's the thoroughfare that they use to get there. Also, we get more requests from the blight remediation, the commercial corridor folks, to do before and afters. So we get more requests from them. So we're running the commercial corridors a little bit more often than our regular routes. Hopefully that answered your question.
Mr. Walker, did I answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
JC Angeles, if you have a question or comment, you can unmute yourself.
Hi. Hey, Tamara. This is Juan Carlos Angeles.
Juan Carlos.
Just wanted to have a comment more than a question. I'm sure it's something that hit your that you cut out of your presentation, but I was on Street View, Detroit Street View recently, and I think the GIS team's doing a great job. And I wanted to add that you guys also document non-motorized routes in the city. So I was on there recently to look at a piece of Joe Louis Greenway, because I like to know what a place looks like before I go there. And I noticed that you had imagery of the Greenway up on there already too. So
We do.
yeah,
That-
so that was really cool.
Yeah, that was actually a collaboration with the Joe Louis Greenway folks. They wanted us to run, so they actually lowered and allowed us onto there so that we could capture the Joe Louis Greenway. I don't think we've gotten it from end to end, but we've got a pretty good size of it. Thank you so much, Juan Carlos. And Ted, did you want to add anything about the Joe Louis Greenway?
I just wanted to add that I know that some of our partners with the data strategy analytics team collected some data on bicycle through those areas too. So I don't know if that's what Juan Carlos is referring to. But one of the cool things about uploading imagery into the Mapillary system is that other people, including us or anyone else, can contribute imagery to be made available to the public there. So it's a great resource for everybody.
And I just pasted in a link to Mapillary within the chat. And that has, so the data that what Ted was talking about, other folks can upload this. This is for the entire world, actually. It's not just for Detroit. And so our username is CODGIS. So when you filter, you can use the little filter key and just put in the CODGIS, and that you'll just see the city of Detroit's data. You can also go to our website. We've already got the link filtered there. But you can go, and I'm going to put this in the chat. If you go to our website, you can also get a link to the data. Any other questions?
Other questions? I don't see any other hands. Any other questions? Again, this is an incredible tool. And to get the information the way that you have and to see the time lapse is a really good thing for our city, especially right now. So we appreciate all of your hard work and all of the things that you're doing in order to keep us, in a place where we can see, all the progress and things that are happening, as well as to be able to facilitate some of these departments to get some of these things, so they have easier access and don't have to go through and figure out all that groundwork. So we really appreciate all the hard work that you guys are doing, and the fact that you're sharing it for residents is incredible. So thank you so much. We do have one more hand that I just saw come up. Michelle Hagerman, if you have a question or a comment, you can unmute yourself.
Kim, I was listening to you. You got to send me your information that you told me you're going to send about for the District 3.
Okay. Yep. It comes right at the end. You'll get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to. One more question about. Okay, they do the makeover. Did y'all doing the makeover for the parks too?
You said, but for Motor City Makeover, we'll get to that. Let's finish this one, okay? And then I can give you some of that. Okay, thank you.
I just want to give a little shout out to our team. When we started this program in 2018, we were the only municipality, the only city in the entire world. There was one city in, I think, the Netherlands, but not as comprehensive as we were doing it. And I don't think I can say that we're the only city doing it now. Ted and I gave presentations in Baltimore. They're interested in it. I heard one of my team members said Chicago's interested in it. So there are other cities that are interested in it now. But just to know, Detroit was the first, and innovation coming out of the city of Detroit by Detroiters for Detroiters, we're very proud of. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And Detroit has been the first in many things, and so this is just another one of those incredible firsts that we can add to our hat. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you and all the hard work. Thank you for being here. We do have a quick update or a quick announcement actually from Alicia. Are you still on here? I think I changed your name. There we go. From the Wayne County.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. If you want to go ahead and give your quick announcement, and then I am going to introduce, well, not introduce, but then give an update on our district managers. You can go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to remind everyone, because we have until March 31st of the notice of intent from foreclosure. If your property has been foreclosed and sold in the auction before December 22nd of 2020, you may be eligible to claim remaining proceeds from the sale. And as of March, all during March, but we're at the end, so it's kind of irrelevant. But we're open till 6 p.m. and then on Saturday we're open till 2. We're only open this month on Saturday. And the deadline to have these forms in is March 31st. Again, this is to make it in layman's terms. If you lost a house, minus taxes and fees, whatever proceeds are remaining will go to the homeowner at that time. So thank you. Again, we're open till 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and on Saturday we're open till 2, only during the month of March. Thank you.
Hey, and thank you. So that's really important too. So we all have all until the end of March as well to get those taxes paid up or to get into a payment agreement. And so thank you so much for being here. If you need any assistance, please know that Wayne County and the city of Detroit is really out here to help, and that that nobody wants anybody to lose their home. There are programs, so please reach out. Don't let your house get foreclosed. So please let us know if you need some help. So at this time, we are going to go ahead and give some information about our district managers. And our deputy managers. For those of you all that don't know your district managers or deputy managers, and I just want to give a little bit of an update too. So if you do not know what district you are in, you can go to the City of Detroit's website at detroitmi.gov. And if you scroll down kind of to the middle, it'll ask you for your address. If you hit that, and then there's a little building on the side, you can click on that and it'll tell you your address. It'll tell you who your council person is, who your district managers are, who your MPOs are. It's got a lot of information. It'll tell you what district you're in. And then I'm going to right now give you some of our all of our district managers and deputy managers. So for District 1, your district manager is Ms. Carla Williamson, and her phone number is 313-236-3484. And her email is williamsonk@detroitmi.gov. And your deputy manager for District 1 is Mr. Steele Hughes, and his phone number is 313-236-3473. And his email is Steele, STEELE .Hughes, HUGHES @detroitmi.gov. And for District 2, your district manager is myself, Kim Tandy, and my phone number is 313-236-3494. My email is TANDY@detroitmi.gov. And my partner in crime here at District 2, my deputy manager, is Mr. Sean Davis, and his phone number is 313-236-3489. And his email is Davis, DAVISSE @detroitmi.gov, and not at crime really, but that's my partner in District 2. And for District 3, your district manager is Miss Kayana Sessoms, and her phone number is 313-348-8464, and her email is SESSOMSK @detroitmi.gov. And your deputy manager for District 3 is Miss Kinsey Current, and her phone number is 313-236-3504. And her email is Kenzie, KENZIE.CURRENT @detroitmi.gov. I'm going to pause because I did remember that I was going to give out Motor City Makeover. So for your Motor City Makeovers this year, the first Saturday in May is Districts 1, 2, and 3. So if you are in Districts 1, 2, and 3, your Motor City Makeover this year is that first Saturday in May, which is Saturday, Saturday, May 3rd. And so districts 1, 2, and 3 are Saturday, May 3rd. 4 and 5 are Saturday, May 10th. And 6 and 7 are Saturday, May 17th. And so for District 4, your district manager is Mr. Nick Barnes, and his phone number is 313-236-3518. And his email is nicholas@detroitmi.gov. And your deputy manager for District 4 is Miss Ebony DeBerry, and her phone number is 313-236-3520. And her email is eboni.deberry@detroitmi.gov. And for District 5, I promise, Mr. Butler, we will have this slide updated by next week. But our new district manager is Keith Butler, who is becoming the manager after being deputy manager in District 5. And his phone number is 313-236-3523. And his his email is keith.butler@detroitmi.gov. And Mr. Nick Barnes, Keith Butler, and Sean Davis, thank you so much for being the co-host as well. So Mr. Josh Roberson has now been moved to our deputy manager for the mayor's office, and Keith has now taken the manager position. Congratulations, Keith. And district manager for District 6 is Miss Eva Torres, and her phone number is 313-236-3530. And her email is torrese@detroitmi.gov. And the deputy manager for District 6 is Mr. Antonio Morrow Mills, and his phone number is 313-236-3529. And his email is millsa@detroitmi.gov. And for District 7, your district manager is Miss Alexia Davis, and her phone number is 313-236-3516. And her email is alexia.davis@detroitmi.gov. And your deputy manager for District 7 is Miss Courtney Harper, and her phone number is 313-236-3540. And her email is courtney@detroitmi.gov. Again, I want to thank everybody for being here this Monday, and on behalf of the mayor of the city of Detroit, as well as our director, Aaron Harris, and our deputy director, Joshua Roberson, all of your district managers and deputy managers, as well as our district business liaisons, I want to thank all of you all for joining us. I want to thank the presenters for being here. I want to ask that you go out and support those businesses that we saw today and the businesses that we've seen, as well as all the rest of the businesses right here in the city of Detroit. And I hope that you will share this information, and we hope that you will join us each and every Monday at 5 o'clock right here on Zoom. And we hope to see you next week. So thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next week. Same time, same place. Have a good evening. Good night, everyone.
Okay, so that was that. I was able to ask 2 critical questions, I didn't want to get into too much detail, but when you look at the fact that, District 1, District 2, District 7, they need a lot of work. The potential is there, but again, when you look at it not being close to the completion dates for, what needs to happen as far as blight removal, park recreation, senior citizen development, homeless demand. A lot of things need to get done, and I want to see it get done. And I'm particularly, I'm hopeful that something can get done with child care services, whether it be concerning adults in probate or, anyone, so we'll see how it goes. And again, this was a good discussion. I got to see a lot of things. I was hoping that I would learn a lot more as far as the development of the street viewer, and it's something I want to see. I want to see NASA and Detroit collaborate and kind of do things according to, aluminum and metal testing. I want to see that kind of, I want to see that happen, because I get tired of seeing the destruction between